This is one of the most anticipated sneaker releases of 2025, and it's also one of my favorite Air Jordan 4 colorways of all time. This is the Air Jordan 4 White Cement 2025. Inside this box is a pair of sneakers that I've been looking forward to for months. And I know I've been saying that for the last couple months, but seriously, this is a pair that I've needed a second pair of since they last released in 2016. You guys already know what it is just because you've seen the title in the thumbnail, but I haven't seen these in person yet, so let's pop them open. Let's see how they look. So I picked up this pair of sneakers from GOAT, and it just came in. I got instant ship. So it did cost a little bit more. I think it ended up costing me like $480, $500, something like that. So it was expensive, and probably significantly more than it would be if I waited until they came out. But you know, I like to review sneakers early, so I gotta spend the extra money to give you guys the earlier review. But before we dive into the actual shoes themselves, let's first take a look at the box. As you can see on the top, you've got this really nice, pretty standard looking Air Jordan 4 box top. It comes in this like almost satin finish in black. You've got the Jumpman in the center in red and the flight text right there. On the sides of the box, you've got splatter print all the way around. It comes in gray with black paint, or I guess black splatter. And then on the front of the box, you've got the size tag right there. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, I had to grab a size 10, which is not my standard size, but as I've said many times before, I have pairs of sneakers in like size 10, size 8.5, size 9.5, just all over the board, just because that's what sneakerheads have to do sometimes. You gotta buy sizes that you don't want to buy, just because sometimes it's the only size available. And that was the case with these. I actually have a pair of size 10 Air Jordan 4 Fire Reds on my floor right there. So I'm gonna compare those to these, because I have Fire Reds in both a 9 and a 10. So I'll try on the Fire Reds in size 10, because I know that the size 9s fit me true to size. Compare the fit of the 10s to this 10, so I can give you guys accurate sizing advice for these brand new Air Jordan 4s. The official colorway of this shoe is Summit White Fire Red. And I guess without further ado, let's pop the top on the box, see what we've got. So first thing inside the box is the GOAT paperwork, or well, it's hard to call it paperwork, and it's really just a black piece of paper with nothing on it. And then of course we've got splatter print paper, which is a nice touch. I always like paper having some sort of printing on them. And then we've got the shoes themselves. I'm excited. I'm so excited. The White Cement Air Jordan 4s. The last time these released was back in 2016. Now this is not gonna be my personal pair, unfortunately, because I wanna grab a pair of my size, but I'm gonna give you guys the early review, and you guys can make a decision for yourself whether you wanna pick these up. But I think these are absolutely fire, and based on what I'm seeing right off the bat, they look pretty similar to the last release from 2016. In fact, I've got the last release from 2016 right here. My pair is absolutely beat and destroyed, but I do want to compare it side by side to this pair later on in the review. Oof, it is really beat. My pair is really badly beat. That's fine. That's totally fine. Let's put this off to the side. This pair of sneakers, man, is insanely clean. Smells amazing. It smells like that glue and that leather smell that we all know and love, even though it's probably unhealthy to inhale. I'm just excited about these, man. They look really, really clean. You do get the orange Nike Air tag right there on the left shoe, which is a nice touch. Are there any extra laces? It does not look like it. That's kind of unfortunate. So you really just get your standard white laces, which is okay. I actually wasn't planning to change out the laces anyway. But either way, super clean pair of sneakers. I think they look great, at least from first impressions. This is my first time seeing the 2025 pair, and I'm hyped. Really quick, I'm giving away an iconic pair of Jordan sneakers. This time it's the 2025 Flu Game 12s over on Core. So make sure to grab the first badge needed to enter the giveaway at the top of the description below. And for my Fowler Fam Core subscribers, I'm also doing an APTHCRY prize pack giveaway. So check it all out right there. But getting back into the shoes, I've got to say, even though the White Cement 4s will probably be a GR, I've got to say it's still probably going to be one of the hottest releases of 2025. But okay, let me fill you in a bit on the Air Jordan 4 if you don't know about the history of this shoe. The Air Jordan 4 is the second Jordan model designed by legendary sneaker designer Tinker Hatfield. It first released in 1989 and has become one of the most iconic shoes of all time. The White Cements were one of the 4 original colorways of the silhouette alongside the Fire Reds, the Military Blues, and the Breads, and it's arguably the most popular of the 4. Now I know there's already people halfway through their comment down below saying how that's wrong and I'm stupid, but I stand by it. I think this is the best one of the 4. Now the White Cements are not only popular because of the many, many times that Michael Jordan wore them in game, or even their memorable appearance in Do the Right Thing, although that did help their popularity, but also because they're one of the cleanest pairs of Jordan sneakers ever made. But even though this shoe is incredibly popular, it's actually only released 4 times. The original release back in 1989, the 1999 retro, the Jumpman pair from 2012, and of course the Nike Air pair from 2016. But finally, 9 years after the last drop, it's back in what Jordan Brand will inevitably call the closest to the original that we've ever released. Although they say that about every single pair and they all kind of look the same. The 2025 Air Jordan 4 White Cements release on May 24th, 2025 for a retail price of $225. But if you want to grab a a pair early or just check the resale prices, I've made sure to link them through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen and also through affiliate links in the description below. But even though I think this shoe is absolutely fire, I wanted to get some other people's opinions. So I took it to the APTHCRY office to show one of our upcoming Shoes Off podcast guests, Chase from Culture Kicks, to get his thoughts. I've got an early pair of shoes that you may or may not have already seen.
Okay.
And Osman already took a sneak peek, which is frustrating because I told him not to, but you know, it is what it is.
It was on the floor, not covered.
Yeah, okay, well, that's par for the course. So here we go.
Ooh.
The upcoming 2025 White
Cements.
Cements. Yes, sir.
Can I give it a sniff test?
Yeah, I mean, I tried
I
it
love
on.
the smell.
I did try it on, just a heads up.
Okay, all right. Well, that's smells like a Jordan 4.
It does.
When is the release date of these?
May?
May.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a pair of these.
They're fire. What size are you?
10 to 10 and a half.
Those are a 10.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, yeah.
I'll drop them off at your office if you want.
They did a great job on these, I
They
think.
did. I took out the insole.
How's the quality?
I think the leather quality is could be a little bit better, but
Right.
still, I'd have to try them on and like see how the leather cracks over time.
Right.
But I mean, it's just such a great colorway, and
It's a classic.
the nostalgia of it is insane. So
Totally.
White Cements are on my bucket list for something to cop this year.
What would you give them out of 10?
Out of 10, probably a 9.
Okay.
I think also, what do you think about the brick by bricks? Have you seen them in hand yet?
I have. I did a review on them. So my thought on it is this. I think if I'm being completely unbiased, I think it's really cool. I like it a lot. I like the story behind it. I like that it's very different. My own personal opinion, though, it's not something I'd wear on a regular basis.
Really?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's a great shoe.
I would wear them.
I think they're great shoes. I have no problem with them, but for
The
me
red ones are
personally,
cooler
like,
than the
I'd
first
wear
ones.
these over the Brick by Bricks or the
Sure.
SBs over the Brick by Bricks any
Sure.
day of the week.
Okay, true. I would wear these over the brick by bricks for sure. I just think the colorway of them, like they just
It's
they killed it. And with the white laces on them,
Oh,
I've seen
yeah.
people. I don't know if you saw yesterday. Jake from State Farm was rocking them. Kai had a stream and Jake from State Farm pulled up in the brick by bricks, and they look great.
Right.
And honestly, it's great marketing by them. I just hope they don't kill it.
No, I
I don't
agree.
want them to make so many,
Right.
you know, brick by brick S type of vibe shoes with the bike on the back.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they will, yeah.
Because-
you know it's going to happen.
It's
I
the
know.
only shoe that has like crazy hype right now.
Right.
It's true.
Well, the SBs are actually pretty hype, too.
Yeah.
The Navy
SBs,
ones?
Yeah, Navy SBs.
Yeah, I saw the Navy ones at SneakerCon.
Yeah.
Which one?
Is there a red one coming
Seattle.
too?
Friends of
That
family.
one's friends and
Oh.
family.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that one's like what? Like, people are charging like
It's
$8,000
crazy.
for it.
It's nuts.
Paint the.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's wild, and it's like just a different color. You could paint yours if you really wanted to. Like,
Literally, yeah. But I do love the Jordan 4 SBs.
Right.
The Pine Greens, I do have
Oh,
a pair of those,
fire.
and they are much more comfortable than a normal Jordan 4.
I agree. Which is crazy because they took out the 4-foot air unit, but it feels better underfoot. I don't know if it's because they made the foam softer or what it is, but it just feels better.
The leather, like I'm not gonna lie, the leather on the Pine Green SB4s is
Right.
better than this.
Yes, 100%.
So, but at the end of the day, I'm sure again Nike. This is gonna be a GR.
For sure.
You got to make 100,000 pairs.
Totally.
Just in and out. They know it's gonna sell.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
like, come on, we're bringing out the white cement 4s.
Totally.
You guys are gonna cop them.
Totally.
They're not gonna put as much time and effort probably into the leather quality, but
Absolutely.
again, at the end of the day, like I'm still buying. I'm still
sure.
buying
It's
these.
a classic.
It is. But make sure to check out the Shoes Off podcast on APTHCRY's YouTube channel and on all major podcasting apps. I've linked it at the top of the screen. But actually getting into the review itself and starting off around the toe, you've got this white leather mudguard. Just above that, of course, you've got more white leather that wraps around a majority of the upper of the shoe. And I've got to say the leather quality on this shoe doesn't feel bad. I mean, it doesn't feel exceptional, it doesn't feel great, but it also doesn't feel bad. It's kind of middle of the road. But I will say, it doesn't feel as cheap as some of the other recent Air Jordan 4 releases, although I don't think it's as nice as the upcoming Nike SB4s, which actually use all real leather. A lot of Air Jordan 4s nowadays use real leather on some portions of the shoe, and then synthetic leathers on other portions of the shoe, like the eye stays, but for the SB4s, it's all leather. For this shoe, though, I'm sure there's some synthetic leather somewhere on the sneaker. That being said, quality-wise, it feels fine. Speaking of the eye stay, moving up from the toe, you've got more white leather. Like I said, probably synthetic, but I'm not totally sure. And weaving through the eyelets on the shoe, you've got these flat white laces. Now, unfortunately, you do not get another set of laces inside the box. I'll be honest, though, I'm fine with white laces. I wouldn't have switched them out to anything else. I actually don't know if I'd ever switch out these laces, even if they gave me black laces or gray laces. I feel like the white laces are the only way to go on this colorway, but let me know in the comment section down below if you wear these with a different color set of laces. Over top of the eye stays, you've got these black TPU wing eyelets like you've got in most Jordan 4s, and then just beneath the laces, the bottom half of the tongue comes with that classic Air Jordan 4 netting in white. Towards the top of the tongue, you've got more white leather, and then of course that classic Jordan flight patch in white, red, and black. And then on the back of the tongue, you've got this black fabric sock liner and your upside down Air Jordan Jordan patch. The rest of the sock liner though comes in white, and the insole of the sneaker actually comes, I think, in black. Yeah, it comes in black with Nike Air branding printed on the heel in red. Now, as far as sizing goes for these 2025 white cement Air Jordan 4s, like I was saying earlier on in the video, I did try these on alongside my size 10 Fire Red 4s, which are true to size. This pair feels just like that pair, so my thought is that these actually fit true to size, which honestly is par for the course for Jordan 4s. I don't usually find myself needing to size up or size down in Jordan 4s. Of course, that might be different for you. I would suggest if you've never tried on a pair of 4s before, try one on at a local sneaker store just to make sure that you're grabbing the right size for you, because whether you grab these for retail or resale, it's gonna be at least $225, and that's a lot of money to drop on a pair of shoes that does not fit. So make sure to try them on if you haven't, and if you have, grab your standard 4 size, you should be good to go. Moving back in the sneaker, you've got more white leather paneling, and then of course in the midfoot you've got more netting and that, I guess, breathability area, which, like I've mentioned in every other Air Jordan 4 review that I've done recently, doesn't do anything. Shoe's pretty hot, that doesn't help at all, but hey, it looks nice. So I guess that's all that matters, and when it comes to Jordan sneakers, you really are only buying them for the looks, not so much the comfort, because none of these shoes are that comfortable. As I mentioned earlier, you've got this TPU wing. Of course, on the white cement colorway, it comes in gray with black splatter print. And then moving around to the heel of the shoe, you've got this gray TPU heel tab, of course also with splatter print, and that classic Nike Air branding in black. Now, this is a detail that was actually brought back with the 2016 pair of the white cement 4s, and that's the reason that shoe was such a popular retro, because it actually brought this hit back, which actually, come to think of it, I think in 2016, the white cement 4s were one of the first pairs to bring back that detail on retros. It had been gone for a while. I think we had Jumpman on the heel for every colorway, whether it was an OG colorway or not, on every pair of 4s and even 3s, but now on any of the OG Air Jordan 4s, we get the Nike Air branding, which I'm all about. I love it. I think it fills out the heel tab much better than the Jumpman does, and it's just such a nice classic hit. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I'm sure Jordan Brand is going to say this is the closest shoe to the OG that it's ever been, but let's be honest, it looks just like the 2016 pair. We'll compare them a little bit later on in the video, but realistically, it's the same shoe. I mean, sure, the 85 breads are a little bit different than the other 85s that have released, and are very different than any of the other Air Jordan 1s that have released over the last couple years, but that's really one of the only shoes that I can think of that actually looks like the original versus the current retros. Like the Jordan 4s and the Jordan 3s, they all look really similar to what they did 10 years ago. There are minor changes, but they're pretty similar to the last couple retros. There's not a lot of changes that have taken place, so I kind of find it funny when Jordan Brand's like, oh, it's just like the original, when it's not. To be fair though, the original isn't that much different either, so I don't know. I feel like they're just saying that for marketing, and that's fine, but it just feels empty. Moving down on the shoe, you get to one of the best parts of the white cement 4s, and that of course is the midsole, which comes in both white and in gray with black splatter print. I love splatter print on 4s. It's kind of like elephant print on 3s. It just makes sense and it just looks good. And on the white cement 4s, it's just that classic detail that just adds so much. It's that accent that really makes this shoe pop. Of course, in addition to the splatter print, you've also got the air unit towards the heel of the shoe and some of the black rubber from the outsole wrapping up on the side of the sneaker, which creates a nice contrast against the white. And overall, the midsole of this shoe, one of the better Air Jordan 4 midsoles. I think it looks great. Then getting to the bottom of the shoe, you've got more of that black rubber that I just talked about. You've got some gray rubber on the toe and on the heel of the shoe, some white on the midfoot, and your Nike branding in red. But at this point, let me bust out my busted pair of Air Jordan 4 white cements from 2016, and let's compare them. They look terrible. These look so much worse, and it's really only because I'm seeing them next to a fresh pair, seeing how bad they look. It's rough. It's real rough. Look at the difference. Like, even the color's different, and that's only because of the mud. Now, I'm seeing a few minor differences. The first is the amount of black sock liner on the back of the tongue that you actually see on the front of the tongue. On the new pair, you see a lot less because the tongue leather comes a little bit higher. On the old pair, you see a lot of this black. Another difference is really the amount of splatter print that you have on the shoe. On the 2016 pair, you've got a lot of splatter print. On the 2025 pair, you've got still probably the same amount of splatter print, but it seems a lot smaller than on the 2016 pair. And actually, now seeing these side by side, I do kind of think I prefer the look of the 2016 pair. Now, I'm not sure which one is closer to the actual OG pair. Probably this one, but I don't know for sure. And I'm also not sure if maybe different pairs have different sizes of splatter print, because like we saw with elephant print in Air Jordan 3s, they vary a lot. Another interesting detail is that the splatter print actually seems to be on the Nike text on the new shoe, and then on the old shoe it doesn't seem to be on there. I wonder if they masked that off when they did that on the older pair. And the Nike font seems a little bit different. Is it different? I don't know, I think it's just the size of the splatter print's kind of throwing me off a little bit. Other than that though, I mean, you've got some yellowing on my older pair on the netting, so that's a change. But the shape is similar. This pair is pretty beat though, so I can't totally tell if the shape is similar. The new pair seems a little bit higher, which maybe I guess is closer to the OG, but keep in mind this is also a size 10, this is a size 9, so that's probably the reason for the height difference. There are a few minor changes, but nothing major, and I think if you wore either one of these shoes, it'd be hard to tell which one is which. I guess really the biggest change is that splatter print. Like the splatter print on the heel tab is noticeably different on the the older pair versus the newer pair, and I really do think that I prefer the larger splatter print. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect that. I did not think that would be a difference, but it is. But hey, in my opinion, regardless of whether it's the 2016 pair or the 2025 pair, this is one of the most iconic sneakers of all time. It's both beautiful and legendary, and I'm so happy to finally be able to replace my 2016 pair, which is completely beat, for a brand new pair. That's also one of my most worn pairs in my collection, so it's gonna be really nice to have a fresh pair. In terms of quality, like I said, it's decent. Like the recent Black Cement 3s and the Flu Game 12s, it's pretty much a shot-for-shot remake of the retro, but I'm cool with that. Classics never really get old. Will it be difficult to get? Honestly, I don't think it's gonna be super easy to get. I think even if Jordan Brand makes a ton of these and makes these a super GR, the demand for this pair is still off the charts, so I think pairs are gonna fly off shelves. It really is one of the best releases of the year, and I think there is a chance that people might double up with this release. So I say enter all the raffles you can, hit up your plugs, or just grab them for resale through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen, because these shoes are not gonna sit. But hey, if you made it to this point in the video, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the 2025 White Cement 4s and whether you're grabbing a pair when they drop in May of this year. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.